Okay, so we're gonna try this again because apparently I wasn't recording. So I got an email asking from one of y'all out there, how are you a cultural anthropologist, a college mathematics educator, and a political commentator? So there's a lot to unpack here, from how I am each of these things, as in how I became them and how I express or demonstrate that I am these things, to what exactly is this person asking. There's a lot to unpack, particularly when it comes to my educational background. My educational background was very complex, very thoroughly invested in getting as much education as I could when I could. So answering the first part, how are you a cultural anthropologist? We're going to break this down into different sections. My response to being how am I a cultural anthropologist is all of these notes in red. One of my degrees, I have 4 degrees. One of my degrees is in my associate in science, my associate of science in anthropology. I got that at the community college level. It was the first degree that I earned. I eventually, 7.5 years later, after starting my college experience, I earned my Bachelor's of Arts in Anthropology with a concentration in cultural anthropology. I generally just say I have a degree in cultural anthropology because that is a paragraph to say, and most people already don't understand what cultural anthropology is, or anthropology, what that is. So saying all of these big words, it's doing me and them a favor, particularly you guys, if you don't know what these things are. This is my bachelor's degree, this is my associate's degree in anthropology. This is how I became a cultural anthropologist. This one was a relatively straightforward answer, but if you are asking how I demonstrate being a cultural anthropologist, I think we need to unpack what both culture and anthropology are. So, culture, and when we can understand the definition of culture, it makes other people so much less mysterious. It makes them so much more intimately relatable. Okay? So culture is simply learned behaviors. Learned behaviors. Everything you eat, every word you speak, the time that you go to sleep, the time you eat dinner, if you eat dinner, whether you call it dinner, how you interact with other people, how your attitude towards other people is expressed outwardly. At that, somebody was at my door. I'm in my office. It's my first day of spring break, and I'm in my office. But you know what? A quiet place with a giant whiteboard that I'm comfortable in, that I designed. Basically, everything that you do is a learned behavior of some sort, from the language you speak to the time you go to sleep to the way you do your job, to the way that you talk with your friends, to the time you eat dinner. All of those things, if you eat breakfast, that's a learned behavior. What you eat for breakfast is a learned behavior. So yeah, I think it just makes it so much more easier to understand other people, that, hey, we're all doing the exact same thing. We just might do it a little bit differently, right? And anthropology is the study of humans. That is the exact precise definition, because it comes from the roots anthropos and ology, anthropos meaning man, ology meaning the study of. So anthropology is study of humans, and if we're talking about cultural anthropology, it would be cultural anthropology is the study of learned human behaviors. So this is how I'm a cultural anthropologist. This is how this is what I study. This is quite actually my formal education in anthropology. I have other degrees, okay?